This is Attorney Michael Beer, and we're talking today about coronavirus and traffic court and how the virus is presently, as of 1 p.m. on March 13th, 2020, impacting the traffic courts here in lower New York State. So as of this hour, the New York City traffic courts, known as the Traffic Violations Bureau, are still operating and intend to continue operating unless otherwise instructed. They are apparently following the lead of the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles licensing offices and remaining open for the time being, but apparently with precautions like no hand-to-hand contact between employees and visitors, as well as more aggressive cleaning taking place within the facilities. On a more local level, many of the courts in Long Island are now either shutting down or postponing temporarily cases to see how the virus situation transpires. The traffic court at 16 Cooper Street in Hempstead, the Nassau County Traffic Court, will be closing this afternoon and will be closed for at least 2 to 3 weeks while they decide what to do. The courts in Westchester, the epicenter of the local situation, have obviously shut temporarily, awaiting the disposition of the local situation in Westchester. So what can you do? If you have a ticket pending, check with your court immediately to find out the status of your case. You may just get a voicemail message from them instructing you as to the situation. The courts have been told to, the courts have been telling people to check regularly to see and update their status. Many of the courts might have websites that offer insight into their status, and the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles does have a cancellations and closing section on their website. If you have a suspension that goes into effect while the courts are closed, unfortunately you will likely be stuck and will be unable to clear that suspension during this period of time, and will have to wait until the courts reopen in order to be able to clear that suspension. With regards to tickets in courts that might have payment systems, likewise, the payment might not be successfully recorded on time if the court is not actually physically open. And so you should check back in with the court when they do reopen and make sure that your payment has been properly applied to your case. The New York State Department of Motor Vehicles does have a payment portal, and if your fine is due during the time period that they might be closed, you can make a payment on there. And if you are suspended, it usually lifts your suspension upon the payment of that fine if you are suspended for an unpaid fine. All other types of suspensions that require the intervention of a clerk in the DMV will have to wait till if and when the DMV opens, if it closes. Of course, these are unknown times and unknown situations. In my 28 years of working in the traffic court, there has never been a situation like this, where they might have to close for a long period of time, and where all offices will be closed simultaneously. After 9/11 or after Sandy, there were short periods of time when they were closed, but nothing of the nature of this, where they could be closed for several days or weeks, completely closed without the ability to access DMV transactions. The situation is strange now because due to the recent green light law allowing undocumented residents to apply for limited use licenses, the volume of people coming to the DMV has increased significantly, well in excess of the limits that the governor recently imposed on small crowds in New York State. So again, I suggest that everybody be careful, follow the instructions of the state, federal, and local governments, and of course be cautious. Your life is worth more than a traffic ticket. Be safe out there. Thank you.